Hi there, I'm Amy Griffiths and I'm one of the journalists in Manx Radio's newsroom, and you're listening to Newscast.
Richard McNee.
Brett Martin.
Patrick Goff.
Well, my first question is, whose crazy idea was this then?
Yeah, well, that was me. This was my idea. Well, it was a bit of a crazy one because my stepdad Richard recently came back from his Everest base camp trek, and that inspired me to think we need to do something like that for Looky's aid. And also a month before, Charles Kenny, another friend of Lucas's, he'd just done his marathon run, his charity run. So I thought we need to carry on this momentum really. And knowing Lucas, he would love us to do something like this, you know, go big. If we're going to do a mountain, we may as well go for the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. So yeah, that's how we came up with the idea.
And how many of you are going?
It's 9 of us now.
There are 9 of us, yeah.
9, wow. So 9 of you crazy enough to do this. But then I think that in itself just speaks volumes about Looky and what a person he was, to have all of those people want to take on such a challenge for him.
Yeah, I think his influence was far and wide, really. And it's sort of, you see it through the age group of the people who are doing it. On the young end, we've got 3 of his mates, who, as Patrick said, he'd absolutely love that. And then we've got myself and Richard and 4 other businessmen who I think they're probably combining a sort of a life experience with a fundraising effort. But it's been fantastic, and I think we're just nudged through £15,000 this morning. So, which
I saw, which is unbelievable. I mean, you've got a target of 20,000, but raising 15,000 is no short feat. So, I mean, that in itself does that add extra pressure?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yeah. I mean, we set the goal of 20,000 at first, and, you know, we wanted, like we say, Lucas always loved doing things big. And we set that goal thinking, you know, we could get there, but, you know, it's a big goal. But to be at 15,000 already, I think we might hit that, to be honest. So it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And so what's your schedule then? So your itinerary, when do you leave? And then what happens once you get there?
So we leave the island on Friday and then fly to Nairobi on Saturday. A quick hop up to Moshi in Tanzania on Sunday. And then we actually start the trek on the Monday next week.
And as Patrick said, you've just come back from Everest. So do you feel like you've maybe got a slight bit of an advantage in terms of actually how to cope with this?
I know I can get to about 18,000 feet without altitude sickness. So hopefully the extra 1,400 feet won't make too much difference to me. But altitude sickness can get anyone. Doesn't matter how young, fit, old, unfit you are. If it gets you, it gets you.
Because that's the thing, I mean, it's not an easy thing that you're taking on, and there are a lot of risks with it as well. So how are you all managing that?
The risk is manageable. It's not a mountain that you're climbing with ropes and crampons. It's more of a very, very large snaefell, if you like. As Richard says, I think the biggest risk we all face is altitude sickness. And I think Richard's got about 10,000 feet on me. I think the highest I've ever been in my life is about 8,000 or 9,000. So I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen now.
Well, you're about to find out.
Yeah,
so how long are you thinking it's going to take you? How long are you expecting it to?
The trek is actually 7 days. So it's 5.5 days up. The last day you leave at midnight, and it's about a 5 or 6 hour climb to the top. And then you have about 9 or 10 hours coming down. So it's a long day. But that just then leaves you a short walk on the last day to get back. So 7 days in total.
Gosh, wow. And since Looky's death, I think charity work seems to be something that has really, really helped motivate you all and to try and find a way to navigate through it. And how has it helped you trying to set yourself big challenges like this? I mean, Brett, if we come to you first.
Well, I think the point is that Lucas was an extraordinarily positive person, and if he was here now, he would be applauding what we're doing, and that was the most important thing for me. I didn't want the family to sort of sink into a grief and do nothing, because he would be really unhappy about that. He'd be saying, put your best foot forward, make something positive of this, you know, help other people. So he was whispering in my ear, really, when I set the charity up, and we started the process only very short weeks after his passing, because we felt we needed a direction. And I mean, nothing can replace him, obviously, but seeing the good that we're able to do in his name is a great positive for all of us, and I'm sure that's the same for his friends and colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, I won't speak for Patrick, but I'm going to. I think it's really helped him having this goal. We actually planned this. It was just over a year ago that we started the planning for it, when he came up with the idea, and it's given him a real focus for now. He struggled with, losing Looky, but as probably one of his best mates, he's really missed him. So it's done him good as well to have something to aim at.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Patrick?
Absolutely. I mean, just to follow on from what they said, when something like this happens, it gives you so many emotions, so many feelings, and there's two ways you can go with it, really. You can either use it to destroy yourself, or you use it to make the most of what we've still got, and I think that's what we're doing here. This is a perfect example of that, and like Richard said, it has given me a good goal to focus on and drive towards, so that's what we're doing. Yeah,
you've got to remember, they started school together at 4 years of age and shared houses at university up until 21, so they've known each other basically all of their lives.
It's not a friend at that point, is it? It's a brother.
He's a brother, exactly, and that's what he was to me. But like I've said before, he would just absolutely love this, and I think the fact that we've got Brett coming with us just adds that extra bit of drive we need.
And Brett, if we come to you and talk a bit about the charity, so Looky's Aid, so it's been just over a year now, am I right in saying that? I'm trying to remember my timeline. But how are things going with the charity? What are your plans for the coming year, and what are you hoping to achieve with it?
Yeah, it is just over a year. I think we got approvals in maybe November of 2023. We started the fundraising in earnest in round about Christmas time that year with Looky Soccer Aid. And it's been incredible since then. I mean, the amount of donations, corporate, personal, various events, people have run marathons, and it's been very touching. So the first year really has been mostly about generating a pot of money, if you like, because the way we want to help people is not with small sporadic efforts, it's with a years-long support program for each individual. So it's a substantial amount of money you have to have in the pot ready to just look after one person. So that's been the focus, really. We've got 2 young people we're helping at the moment. We've got 3 or 4 more that are in the pipeline, and from this year, really, the focus is going to be to blend the fundraising with the actual donations and actually increase the number of people we're helping, focus on giving the money away.
And what's the kind of help that you're giving to them? Or is it different in each circumstance?
Yeah, it's going to be very tailored to the needs. So the people we're helping at the moment are younger than we originally envisaged, but their needs came out of terrible tragedy. But I guess the sort of mainstream that we're looking at is probably kids that are starting secondary school right up to university age, and that's the most challenging time for them. They're moving from primary school and a sort of a fairly friendly environment into school where they might have 18-year-olds in classes, and so they're mixing with older people. The temptations and challenges of that become much more profound, and we're looking really to help kids that might come off the rails because of what we call the lack of nurture. So we're looking for kids that have got the nature of wanting to do well. It's sort of born with a bit of drive, but they may be sidelined by family circumstances or poverty or other things in their lives. So those are the people we're trying to help, that sort of pre-teen through to university age group. That's the focus.
The fact that you've already, as you say, so many people have united to support this cause and to support ultimately Looky and all of you. I mean, does it get a bit overwhelming sometimes seeing that level of support?
I think it is humbling to see it, that, he was only 21 when he passed, which for most people is just the starting out to make an influence in life. But it became very evident. I mean, we knew him as a very driven, optimistic ball of energy, really, as a family, but we didn't realise that that's how the world saw him, really. So many people were impacted by the time they spent with him and the inspiration he was able to give to them. And we're seeing that reflected back in the charity, which is fantastic, quite honestly.
So going back to Mount Kili, we're a few days away now. What are your general feelings that you've got at the moment? What's the biggest feeling?
I think for me, it's how I'm going to get about 50 kilograms worth of stuff down to about 15 kilograms worth of stuff to carry with me.
Travelling light. Yeah. And Brett?
I'm the greybeard of the expedition. I'm 5 years older than anybody else, so I suppose mine is just a fitness and a real keenness to get to the top, but nothing to work with in terms of altitude sickness and how I'm going to find it. So it's very much a sort of a jump into the unknown for me.
Yeah, Patrick?
Similarly to Brett, I am nervous for the altitude because that is a factor you can't train for and it's slightly out of our control. But I'm very excited because everything we can control, the training, all the gear, making sure we've got it all prepared, we've ticked all those boxes. So all the controllables, we have controlled them. So yeah, I am very excited, and I think it'll be a tough challenge, but to do it with a good group of people as well, I think it'll be great fun. So I'm excited.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio Newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.